Hey guys, it's Missy from the Book Rat, and it's book haul time. Things have been stacking up, and I'm pretty excited. First up, even though you guys have already seen this since it was in my rewind for last month, is Captive by A.D. Robertson. This is a spin-off of the Nightshade series by Andrea Kramer, and that is because A.D. Robertson is a pseudonym for Andrea. So basically, Nightshade, which is a YA series, did have some steamy moments, but as the series progressed, Andrea noticed that a lot more of her steamy scenes were being cut, and she wanted to get them out there in the world. So she wrote an adult spin-off of the series that is full of the sexy times. This one comes from Dutton, and I have already talked about this one in my September rewind, so you can go ahead and check that out, and my written review will be up very soon. Next up, I got a present from Alexa Adams, whose books I reviewed during Austin in August. As part of AIA, Alexa offered up a giveaway of little handmade and hand-bound folios that she makes of a piece of Jane Austen's juvenilia called Amelia Webster, and she sent me one as well, and they're super cute. So it's just all kind of done by hand and printed and then bound together. Really, really cute idea. And then she followed up a few days later with Holidays at Pemberley, the third book of her Tale of Less Pride and Prejudice Continue series. It's actually the final book in the series. This is the conclusion of the whole thing. I have, of course, reviewed the first two books, so you can check out my thoughts on those, and I will be talking about this one again around the holidays, as well as in next year's Austin event. So thank you, Alexa. Following that, it was shiny mailer heaven around my house. You guys know I love my shiny bubble mailers, and that's because it means something awesome from Macmillan has come, so they're just like an instant day brightener. In the last couple weeks, I got Tin Star by Cecil Castellucci. This is an alien story, which I think if you'd asked me a couple years ago, I probably would have said I had no interest in alien stories, but I think that's maybe like, you know, a coming trend in YA because there have been a number. Of course, Rick Yancey's The Fifth Wave has blown up, so that's certainly going to help that alien push, but I think people are starting to approach aliens in a much more intriguing way. This one sounds phenomenal, so I'm so excited for this one. And I actually do have another book by her. Should be pretty easy to grab. I say that and then I look at my shelves and it's not. I also have First Day on Earth, which was an unsolicited finished copy that was sent to me right before it came out, which was maybe 2 years ago or so, from Scholastic, and I never had a chance to read it and I hadn't really heard anything about it. When I did my first green bookshelf on the bookshelf tour, a lot of people said that they really, really liked this, so I still haven't had time for it. I'm definitely very curious about it now, and it's very trim. And then when I started seeing things about Tin Star, which again, also a pretty slim novel, that kind of pushed my need to read her books over the top. So I think maybe when this comes out, I'll have a little binge of her alien works. And speaking of, this one comes out in February, February 25th of next year. And though I may read it sooner, you guys won't hear too much about it until it does get closer to that release date. Next up, and also coming out in February, is Cress by Marissa Meyer, the third book in the Lunar Chronicles series, and I'm sure you can tell by my grin how happy I am about this. Of course, I could have picked this up and read this months ago. I could have, you know, waited at ALA. I decided to be patient, plus I knew if I would have gotten it at ALA, I would have probably read it in one of the lines at ALA, and by the time February rolls around, my review would be useless. I mean, it would have been non-existent. So I was trying to be good and be patient, and when this came, I was going to set it aside and really try to be good and patient, and that lasted for about 5 minutes, as I'm sure you can see from my tabs. Yeah, I sat down and read this one, and I'm not going to spoil my October rewind too much or get the review out there too soon, other than to say, oh my god, it's so good. Oh, I love the series. So, yes, if you haven't read the Lunar Chronicles, for the love of God, just pick them up already. Pre-order this. It needs to be on your bookshelves. So good. And the last package from Macmillan included Secret by Lindsay Smith. I love this cover. It's very simple and striking. Most of all, I just think this sounds so good. I have a little bit of a thing for Russia. I don't know why. If I'm gonna be honest, actually, I have a little bit of a thing for pretty much everywhere in the world. I like people, I like cultures. I don't like people all that much, that was a lie, but I do like cultures and places and languages and whatever. I do. This one takes place in Russia and concerns the KGB and Psychics, and it sounds phenomenal and all thrillery, espionage-y, and tense, and I love a good tension-fraught book, so really, really eager for this one. This is Lindsay's first novel, but she has a little bit of an obsession with Russia, and she also lives in DC and writes about foreign affairs, so I feel like she's really going to be able to inject all of that, and I can't wait to dig my teeth in. I'm gonna have to be patient because this one doesn't come out until April, and I don't know that I can be that patient. I think December is going to be just an open month for me, reading whatever I want. This might be one of those things. So those lovely books came from Macmillan. Thank you guys, I love ya, and I'll be talking a lot more about those. But in between the Macmillan packages, I got another package from Lori Vera Rigler, who you may remember participated in Austin in August and has in all of my Jane events for the last 4 years. And she sent me her Austen Attic series, which I showed in my last book haul. She also sent me a surprise package with a copy of The Journeys of John and Julia by Aurelia, because she had seen one of my posts about how I crave middle grade books in the fall. I have heard of this, partly through Lori and I think through some other people, but don't really know too much about it other than I think it's maybe a little experimental or has some shifting POVs. I'm not completely positive. Not sure when I will have a chance to get to it, but it is on my shelves now, and when I have a chance I will share my thoughts with you. And lastly, to brighten up my yesterday, which was otherwise a shitty day, I got a copy of How Not to Be a Dick by Megan Doherty. This came from Zest Books, who puts out nonfiction books for teens, and it's an everyday etiquette guide done in the sort of fun with Dick and Jane style, which seems really fun and quirky, and of course I couldn't resist that. So I will be sharing my thoughts on this one with you guys soon, and I may have to keep this in my purse and just take it with me and read to people and be like, look, I have a book for you. I think it will teach you some things. So that is all for this book haul. Plenty of new additions to my shelves. Let me know what you guys think of the books that I got, and if you have read or want to read any of them, or if you found something new that you want to look into. That is all for now. As always, thanks for watching, and happy reading!